Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. It is the Soul Leader. I want to read something that was said by Martin Luther King, and it's about the capacity to forgive. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Okay, so I want to talk about forgiveness really quick. And I've been struggling with this, meaning I usually always forgive people for things, but it's the times when I feel deeply hurt. It seems a little hard to forgive. I even had times when people would ask me, well, why are you doing this and that for that person and whatever, and they did X, Y, Z. I'm not a person that stopped doing or don't do certain things because of what someone has done to me. There are people who I fell out with being friends with before who in a moment may have needed some of my help. And I could either be walking about just in the premises of them and I would be helpful. And then that would spark them to thinking that they have to talk to me again or be my friend. And it's not that. Like, we won't ever be friends again. But right now you needed me and I'm here to get some help. That's what type of person I am. I am not the type of person that just because you've done something to me that I just look at you like, oh, I'm not helping you. I'm not doing anything for you. No, because right now I'm being forced to still be helpful towards somebody. It's not that I don't want to be helpful at all. It's more so like it's hard to be helpful. It's hard to be helpful in the way that you're asked to be helpful from the Lord, because it's like, it's funny to me that the Lord gave me instructions to step away, but the same one who telling me to help. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. And that when it comes to that kind of forgiveness, sometimes it can be hard. I'm being challenged right now. It's not easy. I can't be mean. I'm just being myself towards a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people don't deserve to be in my life. A lot of people I have outgrown. I am on a different level now. And so some people I can no longer deal with. And then a lot of people don't choose God. I do. I always chose God. I just never really acted on it as long and stayed faithful to it. Because no, don't get me wrong. Don't think that I don't have my own problems. Don't think that I live without sin. Don't think that I'm this holy of holiest like some people who get on here and when they preach about God, people be doing this and doing that, but they never talk about the things they do behind closed doors either. They will not ever mention it to you. So don't look at these people videos like they the saint of the saint, even if the Lord is blessing them. There's still something that you don't know about them. Same way it's something that you may not know about me. I don't know much about you. But what I do know is this, that we're supposed to forgive. And it is right to forgive, because I think about the times when I have forgiven people. Meaning, you know the saying in the Bible when it talks about how if basically your brother wronged you 3 times and forgiving him, don't quote unquote, I'm not quoting the actual verse, I'm just speaking what I know about that verse. Forgive him 7 more times, meaning you can't go to sleep angry and not forgiving the person because of what they done. Sometimes you got to look at what they done and understand why they did it. Sometimes you're not even going to really know the why. But like they say, hurt people, you know, and forgiveness is like a super strength. It's a choice. You know, it's a choice to find peace within you. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making peace with myself, the situations I've gone through in my life. Because to forgive is to find peace. Not peace for them, but peace for you. For instance, let me tell you, my dad, right? I can't say nothing bad about him. I don't know how my other siblings feel. But this is what I know, because I am one of the children. Heck, you know, I'm the youngest one. So I kind of got something out of him that I kind of feel like my other siblings didn't. Meaning, like, yeah, 2 of them did live with him for a period of time. But I'm talking about because of the relationship he and my mom had, it was more like an in and out, so it was easier for me to see him a little more than the others at the time. And he got to do a little more with me than he did with the others, but he still didn't do much with me. Let's just say that. Because I was still abandoned by him too. And I never hated him that he was gone. I just didn't understand why until I got grown. And I remember when I was 20 years old and I broke down crying because of the things that I was doing. And I realized it was all because I missed him. You know, and that's what the Lord would do to me, would, you know, come to me. I'd be minding my business and he would tell me things. Always have. I never told nobody this, but the Lord would always, when I least expected, even when I wasn't even walking with Christ, the Lord still would tell me stuff. You know, the Lord was always calling me, and I couldn't understand it. Like, why do you keep calling me? What do you want with me? I'm not a good person. I'm mean at times. Like, this is what I used to say and think about myself. But it was true the whole time. The Lord just been drawing me near until I gave in. It was like, look, what made me give in was that bad relationship that made me relive my entire life over again. Imagine you getting grown and you think you're getting away from the people and places and things that hurt you, but then you run smack right into it and have to face all of those things all at once. Everybody don't go through that. I had to face all those things in one person. And when it first began, I used to always speak on it like, hey, can you not do this? Blah, blah, blah. You triggering me. Or I would speak on it. And then it turned into deliberately doing stuff because you knew that it was a trigger for me. What, baby? Now, this is not talking about nobody, y'all. I am not talking bad about any person. This is me just speaking on what I went through. And I would love for one day, anybody that I've spoken of that I still have to have some form of connection with. Ivy, I'm making a video. Stop. So, she making me lose my train of thought. You know, hold on. It's just me speaking what I went through, and I would love for, even if it's years down the line, to even have a few people speak on their behalf, because I'm pretty sure these people will be going through, if they haven't already started, to really learn lessons themselves. So, back on topic about the forgiveness. So, I remember back in 2012, and me and my dad was sitting outside one day, and we were talking. This was after he got ill, and we was just talking. I didn't know what to talk to him about because I really don't know nothing about him. Even though, like, we still, I didn't even know my father was in the Navy before. I didn't even know that. I knew my grandfather was, but I didn't know that about my dad. It's so many things about him that is so good. The most I know is he came from a God-fearing family, that my grandmother was an evangelist and a social worker and all kinds of things like that. Like, just knowing what type of family I actually really, really come from and share blood with. I couldn't understand why my dad went the route that he went. But let me tell you, the Lord will bring you back to the Lord. Trust me. And that's what the Lord did for my dad. He brought him back to him. And I'm going to tell you two different stories. So when we were sitting there outside, and I said, hey, Dad, I forgive you. And he said, oh my goodness, you just lifted a weight off my shoulders. Can you imagine the guilt that he must have felt all that time? That I had no idea he actually felt guilty for not being there. For not just me, for all of his kids, right? It's not more of a he didn't want to be. Nobody ever stopped to ask that man what he was struggling with. Huh? You want some of this? Open your mouth. Hold on. Open your mouth. Say She eating whipped cream. So, just seeing him actually have an emotion and say that my forgiveness lifted a weight off of him. It made me feel good because I never thought I would get to that place to say, Dad, I forgive you. It's a little different with my mom. I'm trying to really understand that kind of forgiveness. I think it was a little more easier to forgive him because he did his dirt away from me. He went on and left, instead of having me around to suffer in his mess. So I do appreciate him taking his mess with him. But it didn't affect me like it affects most people who parents don't be in their life, because at the end of the day, I always knew that whether they were around or not, I'm still okay. I'm still living. I'm still breathing. And for the people who took their place, Lord will always send people to take the place. So even though it's our parents' job and duty to raise us and lead us in the right way, some of them fail at it. So people, please don't beat your parents up for what they did or didn't do. At the end of the day, you're a grown woman, grown man. You cannot be walking around, well, you ain't do this for me. And that's what, listen. Take all that blame off of them. At the end of the day, people are only going to do what they can do with what they had. Whether it was a good or bad decision, that is on them. That is for God to judge them. You have the right to be angry that you are deprived or abandoned, but you don't have the right to persecute somebody for a choice they made, because there are choices that you make in your life that aren't the greatest, and nobody's down your throat and back about it, making you feel bad about it. You get up and try to do something different, and you just pray that God don't, that you just pray that God blesses you. So if you could do that, why are you so angry with other people for things that they had already done? They can't take it back. All they can do is change now. If you change the now, then you can change the future, right? I'm not saying that it's easy to just up and go and talk to these people. At some point, you got to ask your parents, what is their story? You cannot believe their story to your aunt, your uncles, your grandma, whatever, because somewhere down the line, it's going to be distorted. Because trust me, there are people who were raised by their grandmothers, their aunts, their uncles, whoever, not their mother and father, right? But was told a bunch of lies and distorted truths about their mother and father. And it starts because that seed is planted in you as a child. When you grow up thinking this way of your parent and hating them, having all this anger, while the people who raised you half the time is enjoying the fact that you feel that way about them because of their own issue with your parent, right? And you grow up taking on other people's emotions, hating your parent, mad at them. First of all, little lady, little man, ask your parent their story. Don't go judging. You don't know if they've been molested. You don't know what your grandmother, grandfather allowed to happen to their own child, and that's why their child turned into whatever. We don't know a lot. Some of our parents been raped, molested, tortured, trafficked, all kinds of horrendous things. Some of them weren't even loved by their mothers and fathers. But you know how some people do? Say like that person wasn't loved on by their mother and father correctly or properly, right? Say the other children may were, or even if the other children wasn't. And that child grow up and have you. And in order to get back at that parent, because those grandparents feel like that parent is this and that parent is that, not realizing that they failed that child, not realizing the mistake that this child is making, and now they're trying to take you and take care of you. And yes, they may do raise you better, may they do raise you good, but the things, listen, pay attention to the things they say about your parent. You'll easily know what they lying about and telling the truth about. That's what I'm saying. Like in these situations, you're already programmed to have instant hate for somebody leaving. Sometimes that person leaving was the best thing for you. Sometimes them living with you, grandparents, your aunt, or whoever, is the best thing for you, even if in that situation that wasn't the best, but it was better than that person raising you. You cannot live your life sitting up here pointing fingers and angry and mad at your parents. I'm telling you, I'm only saying that because I was mad at one parent and not mad at the other. You know, I had one that kept me in that bullcrap. I have one that's still having their struggles. You know, and the other one, they had their little struggles, but it's nothing like what they used to be. Like this person still, my dad still thinks about me, still talks about me and stuff like that. Still be like, hey, call. I'm just so used to not calling because that's how they made it. you know, and I try not to let my parents' mistakes run over into my life, run over into my children. So that's why I'm totally aware of what's going on. You have to forgive, meaning I am struggling with forgiveness with a different person, not my parents this time. And that's more so of letting go of a grudge, you know. It's more so because for a minute there, I felt like I was entitled to hold the grudge. I'm not entitled to hold the grudge, but I'm entitled to feel anger. I'm entitled to be upset, but I'm not entitled to not forgive them. The reason why that is because how can the Lord forgive me? How can the Lord forgive us of our past and the things that we do if we do not forgive others? You know, it's not an easy task, but it's a choice. It's like once you make that choice, you work on the forgiveness. You have to look past what was done to you, because sometimes the things that was done to you was done for you. The things that was done to me was done for me. The neglection, the abandonment, the lying, the deceiving, all of those kind of things, the disloyalty, all of that was designed to teach me to find these things in myself. When you know yourself, you're able to pour into others. So that's what I'm doing with you all. Like, once that illusion came up off of me and I realized and I believe what the Lord says, once I started reading my Bible and understand what the Lord says about me, it taught me about forgiveness. Now, let me tell y'all, usually I make these videos, I write stuff down. I wrote none of this down that we're talking about. All of this is coming from the heart. All of this is what the Lord put in my mind to say to you. Now, I was just reading my encouragement book and stumbled upon something that Martin Luther King said, and it stuck out to me because it's something that I'm dealing with right now, and I'm pretty sure many of you are dealing with, because if we weren't dealing with unforgiveness, we wouldn't all be at battles with family members, and we would rekindle friendships that should have never died. They're all friendships that should stay buried, relationships that need to stay buried. But there are the ones that we're supposed to have that we need to reconcile with people about. You know, I don't want none of my old friendships. I don't want none of them, mostly because I clearly know who the real users are and who wasn't. I only want people around me that give. They do more giving than taking. You know, because this is the thing. If it is someone from the past that I should still be friends with, well, we need to be on each other's level. I can't deal with nobody that's still stuck on all those old things. I can't deal with nobody that's still stuck on the old soul leader. That person died. That was a death for me to go through a lot that I went through. And most of those people wasn't there for me. Not that they couldn't be, because they chose not to be. They chose not to be, and then as soon as they went through stuff, they wanted me to be there for them, and I couldn't. I didn't just be mean and be like, oh, I'm not going to be there for you. No, it was designed that way, and I saw it going that way, because you don't do real friends like that, especially the one who always got your back, especially the one that you run to when all else fails. I should not be the last thought or the only thought who, you know, like, all right, I'm going to go do this and that, because I know if I fuck up, excuse my language, I know if I mess up. I'm working on it, y'all. I know that if I mess up, Soul Leader will be there. No, it don't work like that. I want reciprocity, you know. So come here, baby. You want some more of this? Wait. TJ woke? Alright, so my son is woke, y'all. I'm going to leave this video alone, beautiful souls. Until next time, let me help you, and together we can help one another. Remember to forgive. Go write it down. Go sit in it. But don't... It doesn't just happen overnight. It's still a choice. And we have to remember not to pass judgment on others, because we are being judged the same way that we judge others. Okay? I'm glad that I said all of this, because it's kind of making me rethink something that I've been doing lately. And it doesn't bring out the best in me to be harboring resentment. I don't mean to resent some people, but... that's because I'm watching some people not even step up because they're so afraid of who I am. Meaning, they're afraid that I won't be there. You just never know. That's why you don't take the chance to play with people and their feelings. That's why you don't play with good people in your life. Okay? Yes? Okay, so beautiful souls, I'm going to go. Till next time.